All right. Hello, fellow dog people, and welcome to another episode of the Rocker Dog Podcast, the show that talks to musical artists about their dogs. I am your host, Tim Dill. Velcro to my side is my dog, Charlie, and together we're happy to bring you our conversation with Istanbul-raised and now Barcelona-based DJ and producer, ELIF. This month of May, we'll see ELIF performing in Panama, Spain, Switzerland, Turkey, and Serbia, to name a few. And this is her appropriately named Rocker Dog.
This is Bam Bam. He's gonna be 3 in April. I'm not sure about his race. I think he has some Jack Russell in him.
Okay.
But he's way bigger. Like I see other Jack Russells and he's like double the size. And we are in Spain and I'm seeing here like a Spanish dog breed from Andalusia. They were bred to hunt rats in bodegueros. And I think he might also have some of that in him, even though he actually came from Turkey. He's not from here.
Right. Well,
Yes.
you recently posted kind of his story on your Instagram,
Yes,
and
actually, you inspired me to post that because I adopted him like almost a year ago, and I kind of soft launched him,
I
but
love it.
I never, I never really like told the story of how I adopted him or any of that. So when you were asking me like, "Hey, is that your dog?" I wanted to like do a little post about that.
Well, I was hoping that would be the case, and I also saw how popular the post was. So it
Yes.
always warms my heart to see when artists do post their dogs that the like count and the comments are kind of high up there along with their music and what they do in their art.
Yes.
So I was happy to see that.
Yes.
But full disclosure, I think I would love to take what you wrote and just kind of dive into the details because it's very interesting that, if you go back, you met him, you were there on a job.
Yeah, I was in Istanbul in 22 December, 23 December. Yeah. And I actually have a friend who has his father. And I used to babysit Bam Bam's father a lot. And I was just seeing my friend because I'm from Istanbul and I can go there like once or twice a year tops to see my friends. So I saw my friend and he had 2 dogs. I'm like, where did you get the second dog? And he said it's Cooper, Cooper's son, and he was adopted by a friend of his, and he was not happy with how he was taking care of the dog, so he took him back. And he told me that he's like a super cute dog, but also he was struggling looking after 2 dogs.
Mhm.
And then he just casually told me, but if you want him, like you can take him because I know you're gonna take good care of him. And at that time, I had a partner, and recently we have babysat the other dog that you saw, which was an amazing pit bull mix,
Cha-cha?
and like Cha-Cha, the cutest dog ever. We babysat him like or dog sat him like 10 days, and I grew up with dogs, but I travel a lot for work. So I was never really considering like getting a dog, but then having a partner that lives with me, and we were like, okay, we are two and we can do this. So after Cha-Cha, we were actually thinking of maybe going to the local shelter and like finding maybe a smaller breed because our home is quite small. So we were like really wanting to have a dog, but I travel a lot and we never had the time to actually go check out the shelter. And then in this trip, my friend said, "Oh, if you want him, you can take him." He was 2 years old, I think. And I just saw him like once, and I just took a picture of him and sent it to my partner and like, "Look, would you like us to adopt this dog?" Just one photo. He saw one photo and he said, "I'm in love, let's get him." And I didn't even know what I was getting into because it wasn't easy to bring a dog from Turkey to Spain. There are like tons of regulations. So first day when we decided, I took him in my name and we got him a shot. And after this shot, you have to get a test after a month. And once you get the result of this test, I don't know why you have to wait 3 more months to
Yeah.
be able to get a document so that the dog can travel from Turkey to Spain. So we didn't know this. I was like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna go on tour, but when I come back, I'll pass by Istanbul and take him. But it wasn't as easy. I talked to a lot of friends who moved from Turkey to Europe, and they were like, no, 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 minimum 4 months. Like you cannot make this faster. And then we started waiting, and the wait was really nice. It was like building a lot of, anticipation, getting ready for his arrival, almost like a mini pregnancy, I would
Yeah.
say, because you're expecting, yeah, a child almost, even if it's a furry child. And I had like my mom and some friends took care of him while we were waiting because my friends couldn't take care of two dogs. I also sent him to training,
Oh, great.
yeah, so that he wouldn't like get anxious in the plane,
Hmm.
because he's a bit heavy and he's not allowed to fly in the cabin, unfortunately. So we sent him to training. Also, I think he has some separation anxiety in my friend's place when he was alone, like he was kind of destroying stuff, which I understand because I think he had to change homes a lot for finding his forever home. And so the training went well. He's very social. He became friends with everyone. And last May, actually, my ex went to get him, and there was a mix-up with his papers, and it was 3 days too early, and he came back without the dog, which was like very frustrating for us. He had to like take a day off. He literally flew in, and his flight back was in the evening, and he came back without a dog. Then we found a really nice organization that help people bring their dogs like this, because there's a lot of stray cats and dogs in Turkey and especially in Istanbul. So they help these animals get adopted in Europe, and then they find people who would fly them. And it's a lengthy process to be able to fly with these dogs if you don't own them. So they do all the paperwork. I have actually in the past, because I travel a lot, when I used to live in Turkey, I flew a few cats and dogs to their new owners like
Oh,
this. So
that's
I was
awesome.
like a yeah, I was like a flight volunteer because I was already flying, and I would just, they would bring me the cat or dog, and then I would do everything and like just give it to the people who are waiting for them at the other side.
That's awesome.
And so we found in our community, among the Turks living in Barcelona, someone who agreed to bring Bam Bam this way. And this organization, they helped us with the paperwork that we weren't able to do from Barcelona. So they helped us with that, and I just made a little donation. That's it. They didn't even ask for it, and they were so lovely. They take care of everything. And Bam Bam came here in May. It's gonna be almost a year soon. I always say moving to Barcelona was the best decision of my life. I think having Bam Bam is also one of those best decisions.
I can imagine that's
Yes.
great. What was the reunion like? What were the first couple of days like?
So on the original arrival date, I would be here. But with this volunteer and setup, I was actually on tour. So my ex had to go to the airport and pick him up. And I asked him like to make videos of everything. And he just like came home, and he's a very, like, I don't know, he likes people. His
Hmm.
favorite thing is metro. He loves going to the metro because there's a lot of people and he
That's
can
so.
say hi to everyone.
Now, when I first started this podcast, I never thought, I didn't consider this would come up, but this whole notion of couples getting pets and then breaking up, and there's,
Yeah,
like a child, there's a custody
it
battle.
is.
Was it pretty
It
clear
is.
who was going to keep the dog when your relationship parted?
Uh, it was gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna keep the dog, but you're gonna help me if this happens. Because I think my ex's living situation doesn't allow him having dogs.
Right.
He was living with me. But, I go on a lot of tours. So when I'm on tour, he's actually coming and staying here and taking care of the dog. So like for short trips, I also give him to friends. He loves my friends. Sometimes when I drop him off with the taxi, like he sees my friend and he doesn't even look at me anymore. Like he's happy to see him. And for these short, like just 1 weekend trips, I don't mind also giving Bam Bam to other friends. But for longer trips, I prefer that like my ex comes and stays here and takes care of Bam Bam here, because I don't want him to feel abandoned because it happened to him a few times. Like he changed a lot of homes, even just when he was staying with my mom while he was waiting to come here. Like maybe he thought it was his home, you know? So I don't want him to feel again that he's being abandoned.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like having a child together. It actually also something that keeps us in a in a good mood, I would say, like because normally maybe you wouldn't speak to your ex that much,
Yeah.
but now we have a child in common, and I think it keeps things better.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
when Bam Bam arrived in May of 2024, is that a busy season for you? And I just asked because, Europe's in summer,
yeah.
the Americas are in summer.
I was busy, but I also decided I didn't want to travel to the US. That last summer, I wanted to be in Europe. I didn't want to take long flights. I was also coming out of a really tough 3 years of non-stop touring schedule, like one show in Middle East, next day in the US, next day in Africa, like stuff
Yeah.
like this. It was pretty intense. So I already like naturally I wanted to also slow down a little bit. Like last summer, I said I'm just gonna be in Europe, just gonna be taking short flights. Weekends I play in during the week, I'm gonna come home. So at the beginning, it was the perfect setup. And then I also stopped working with an agency and started going more to studio and less shows, like in the last few months. And I think before it would be something that would give me anxiety, but now that I have my dog and I really don't want to go for really long tours, like I want to come home. So I think it's even changed me as a person, or maybe changed my work-life balance in a way, or how I see my work. It's not the only thing that defines me right now, like I'm
Yeah.
a dog mom also. And I think I needed a little balance like this. I've also recently, I don't remember who, but I saw like a post from like a touring DJ that she's like so tired of the tour life and she just wants to like stop for a bit and get a dog. And I was like, I can relate. I can really relate.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned in that post that he's so smart, and I assume that he's so well trained and his behavior. Is he smart in any other way? Like, is he intuitive to how you're feeling?
I think he is. And he also like really understands some things. Like I ask him some questions and he's like, like shaking his head or saying yes, but he shows his the excitement. He understands quite a lot of words. He actually really understands Spanish, English, and Turkish. Like he knows all the commands in these three languages. It's already more than a lot of people.
Yeah, I was going to
I
say
don't
he's
know.
got
I
maybe.
find I find him quite smart. I don't know. He understands a lot of things and he behaves well. He's also a great studio partner.
That's where I was
Uh,
going next.
yeah,
You mentioned that he
yeah.
accompanies you everywhere, and that's to the gym and to the studio. How
So
is
my
he?
gym is not a gym. I have a personal trainer and we
Okay.
train in his terrace. That's why Bam Bam can come with me. Otherwise, I don't think like Barcelona is quite dog friendly, but I don't think gyms are there yet.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
think you can take your dog to a gym. And yeah, I take Bam Bam. He behaves amazing in the studio. There is a couch. He goes and sits there, and every once in a while he comes because in the studio I might lose a bit track of time. And
Hmm.
every once in a while he comes and gives me like little kisses and then goes back to sit. He never chews any cables. He doesn't destroy anything because there's lots of expensive equipment there also and lots of cables, and
All right.
he just knows not to go there. He just sits in the couch. He has his water. He has his treats. He basically just like chills there and sleeps and give me like some kisses every once in a while. And once we go out, there is an incredible dog park near the studio. It's huge.
Oh, great.
It's like there's a few here, but they are smaller ones. But this one near the studio is huge. So at the end of the studio session, we go to the dog park. He runs around. He really enjoys. Then we walk home from a really scenic route. So it's great for him. It's also great for me. These walks, I don't know, I'm almost 40 now, and these walks are keeping me also very healthy, I think, and also him. They're keeping him healthy and also keeping me calm.
Yeah.
You know, instead of taking a vehicle and trying to catch the metro or like do something, I just enjoy the scenery. We go near the park. Sometimes I'm an architect. I enjoy the architecture. Like it's just so much nicer. And also when you have a dog, people smile at you.
Yes. Yes.
It's
That's
just
great.
it's just nicer. Yeah, so I think it just made me like a healthier, calmer person. I have this routine of my Tuesdays and Thursday going to the studio with my dog. He behaves so nice and it's just very, very nice, having this little routine in my
Yes.
hometown because it can be like the tour life can be really, really challenging. And having these little routines is very, very grounding. I love
Yeah.
it.
That's great. Now, going back to touring, you did post a couple of pictures where Bam Bam sits in your luggage. And we've had instances before where, that's kind of a sign that they're showing stress that they know you're leaving or separation anxiety. Has he been better with separation anxiety?
He's way better with separation anxiety. In the first year of his Spanish residency, let's say, he was really destroying things in the home, even if we left him like a couple of minutes.
Right.
But now he just chills. He doesn't destroy things. I also got a dog cam, and I can look at him, and I can see like if he kind of gets distressed or anything. But he seems quite chill these days. I still don't leave any shoes on the floor when I leave, because you never know. But yeah, I think he's way better now.
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
did you give him the name or was that the name?
Actually, his first owner, who couldn't take care of him, he gave him another name, which is Diego Ang. So funny with the Diego also because like they had no idea he was gonna end up in Spain, but it's a Spanish name.
Yeah.
We never use this name, and my friends who owns his father, he was calling him Bam Bam, and I really love the name because first of all, it's international. It's from the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And in every language, the name of the girl is different. For example, in Turkish, it's Çakıl. In Spanish, I don't even remember something with Piedrita. And in English, it's Pebbles. But Bam Bam is the same in every language. And
That's
when I
funny.
say the name Bam Bam, everyone knows, like they know the cartoon, they know. And I think it also like really matches his character. It's a great name.
Yeah.
I like the name. So we kept it, yeah.
That's great. And did you ever know what, your friend who had Bam Bam first, what was the previous owner? What didn't he like about the treatment? Was it just, was he abusive to the dog or dog was never
I
inside? Was there
am
anything?
I am not sure, but he told me that this guy had drug problems, like drug addiction.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
maybe he wasn't even able to take
Maybe it's
care of
just, yeah,
himself.
yeah,
But he's like such a loving, calm, amazing dog that I don't think he was like, I don't want this dog. Maybe it was more like his lifestyle didn't allow
yeah,
him to, because you have to, it's like it's a commitment. Yeah, when you have a dog, even if it's the worst weather, even if you are the most tired, you have to take him out at least 3 times a day, and you have to give him the food. You have to take him to the vet appointments. It's like having a kid.
Yeah.
almost like a baby. It's a never growing baby. So it's not for everyone, you know.
Yep.
And I think, I don't know the details a lot, but I think this guy was just not up for the responsibility. So my friends just took him back.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the Zoomies, and that's just the last five fast questions. Now, is the Zoomies a global phenomena? Do you know what I mean when I say the Zoomies?
Yes, like when the dogs
Yeah,
run
when
really
they,
fast, no?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, yes, okay. And question one is, do you allow Bam Bam to lick your face?
He does lick my face, but I think I also allow other dogs to lick my face.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Good to hear. Number two is, what would Bam Bam's theme song be?
I think the theme song of Flintstones would work for him.
Perfect. Yes. It's funny
Yes.
that that's an internet. Is that something? Did you grow up with that cartoon or access to
Yeah.
watching that cartoon?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't realize that it was a
Yes, yes.
global global
It's yeah, it's
phenomena.
super global, global. Yeah.
Okay. Question three. I know Bam Bam doesn't go on tour with you, but if he did go on tour with you, what would he want on his tour rider?
Oh, he would want a ball. He would definitely want lots of treats. And he would want some flies that he would be able to hunt. He loves hunting flies.
Yeah, tell me about that. You mentioned that in your post. He'll
Yeah,
catch a fly and eat it or just
he
kill it?
he doesn't eat them, but
Okay.
he sometimes spends 3 hours obsessing, and he catches them at the end.
Okay.
He has really strong hunter instincts.
Okay. Because early in our conversation, I saw a fly buzz by your head.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Is he on it?
yeah.
Okay. Question four is, do you have a dog voice? Do you speak to Bam Bam in a certain way?
I do, I think, yeah.
Okay, is
Yeah.
that
And then
and I
go,
don't
my
go
little
out.
boy.
Okay, I'm glad you did that. I was going to say I'm not out to embarrass anybody, but if you want to give us an
No, it's
example, or if you want to
okay.
just describe it,
Yes, like Bambamcito, mi amor, ay, mi amor. It's like that.
perfect, lovely. And last but not least, I always ask if there's a dog organization or a service that you'd like to give a shout out to.
I mean, the people who helped me to bring Bam Bam here safely, and they also do a lot of like shelter work in Turkey, and they help these stray dogs and cats get adopted also outside of Turkey. They are called in Turkish, it's called bir pati de sen tut, which means like hold another paw.
Okay,
Yes, like in a way, like to contribute, and they really helped us to be able to bring Bam Bam here with all the paperwork, and they also do lots of like shelter work, and I was happy with their help, and I was happy that I donated to this cause, and yeah, I thought I could mention them.
that's great. That's great. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Well, our time is up, but thank you for sharing Bam Bam with us, and I'm so glad that
of
you and I got
course.
to meet by happenstance just through social media, and I'm glad this worked out. So thanks for giving me your time halfway around the world. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, thank you so much.
Carl, you're a damn good dog.